What's up, Louis?
Hi, Daryl. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Glad to have you back. All right. I think it is time to go. Yeah, it's about noon. It is time to get started here with the class today. I know that you're obviously working kind of on a modified scale. Is that right?
Yeah, just staying away from any jumps and stuff like that. But the rest of it, I should be okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, no jumping. Gonna be kind of taking it slow today as far as the movements go. The only thing I may foresee you modifying or just taking it a little bit easier is there is going to be some single leg stuff, marching in particular. So if you're all good just standing on one leg and going kind of back and forth, I'll demo it here in a second. But if that is okay, that's kind of the only thing that I may foresee.
Marching's fine.
Okay, great. Okay, cool. All right, fellas. Well, let's get it going. Welcome, everybody. Coach Luis here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk, coming to you guys live from West Hollywood, California here today. It is time for Functional Fitness Friday, and we're going to end it with some guided breathing. Literally my favorite thing to do after the workout. It really helps us calm down, get ready for the rest of our days and weekends. So what we're going to be doing today, kind of EMOM style, what we're usually into. We're going to do 5 intervals for 3 rounds. Going to give us about 15-ish minutes of the actual workout, and then we'll get into a quick cool down and then guided breathing after that. So as far as the movements, what we're going to be doing is some similar movements that we usually do kind of through the middle of the week, but we're going to be taking it a little bit slower today, working on our tempo a little bit more and having it be less intense per se. So first thing we're going to be doing is a plank to pike. So we're in our kind of high plank position here. And the difference between today and Wednesdays and Thursdays typically is I want us to spend about 3 seconds here in this plank position. And then we're going to get into that pike position, just spend about 3 seconds there. And what I want us to focus on is basically kind of the core and the shoulders, making sure we can really lock them in place. And that's a comfortable position that we can just kind of hang out in. We can develop some tension there and just breathe through it. It's really easy to kind of ping pong back and forth here, not really isolating a ton of muscles if we go fast. But today, again, 3 seconds here in the top of the plank, 3 seconds in that pike position. And guys, as we go through it, you don't have to keep up with my pace. Just give it your own kind of in your head count of 3 seconds and work through it like that. Next thing we're going to be doing is a split squat with another kind of tempo laced in there. So with the split squat, I typically like to have everyone, just put a knee down. And this is typically where, the front leg will kind of find that nice 90 degrees. Now, as we stand up, this is kind of our starting position. I want us to go down. Don't have that back knee touch the ground. You can see my front knee here. It's about 90 degrees. And then we're just going to push back up, all that weight being in that front leg, back leg kind of being there for support. Now, if you guys set up the stance and it kind of feels weird, just go ahead and get into a stance that you're comfortable with. It might take a little bit of wiggling or a little bit of adjusting of that foot position, but I'm confident you guys can find something that's comfortable and workable. So again, we're just gonna be focusing on one leg at a time. We're just gonna spend 3 seconds down here, loading up that front leg and hip, and then we're just gonna push it all the way back up, working on one leg at a time. So we'll work on that right first, and then the next interval will be our left leg. After that, we're going to be down on the ground on our backs here. Dead bug, great core exercise. Anti-extension core exercise. No special tempo with this one here today, guys. We're starting with those knees bent, hips flexed, reaching up towards the sky with our arms here. And we're just going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg, using that core to keep our back glued to the ground here. Definitely also kind of a brain exercise here as well, as we try to coordinate, that opposite arm and opposite leg. Now, if you have to take it a little slower, just to make sure that, it's a quality rep and take a little bit of rest in between, that's totally fine. And if it works also a little bit better for you guys, I know you guys are kind of familiar with the whole heel tap thing. You can substitute that on the lower body if it's really hard for us to keep the core engaged as we extend that leg. The longer lever is going to make it a little bit harder on our core just to keep that back glued to the ground. So make any kind of modifications you guys see as necessary. But again, our primary concern is using the core to keep that back glued to the ground the entire time. Nothing should change there. And then finally, we're going to be ending each round with a slow march. Now, I like this one a lot just because it helps us kind of keep up on our single leg balance, which is kind of a skill that's swept under the rug. Sometimes we don't realize it until we get older that was a really important skill to build. So I like to focus on that a lot. If you guys have the opportunity to take socks and shoes off just to help the foot get a little bit better connection with the ground, I recommend it, not a must though. So driving basically one knee up to about hip level. My right leg here is locked out. My glute is squeezing pretty hard and I got my foot nice and active. Now I want you guys to, as we warm up a little bit, maybe you guys can hop in and do just a couple with me right now. Keeping the hands on the hips will kind of help us find that good hip position. We want to imagine the hips like a bowl of water, and we don't want them kind of shifting all the way around and us letting water out of that bowl. So sometimes it's really easy to kind of keep the hands on the hips. You guys can rep it out later on in the workout like this. Or if you're really confident in that single leg balance, we can go ahead and just slowly swing those arms opposite as well. And if you guys are really concerned about the balance, standing near a wall, even not touching a wall, but just standing near, definitely helps us kind of feel a little bit safe and gives us something to put a hand on if we really need to. All right, so those are our 5 things. We're going to be doing 3 rounds for about 15 minutes, and the intervals themselves, each minute we're going to be working for 45 seconds and then resting for 15. That's going to stay constant throughout our workout. So now we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our warm-up. And before we do, make sure you guys have your space set up. Again, all we're going to need is just some space on the ground to lay down. Also, got to have the water. Water is essential. Got to stay hydrated in these summer months here, but no other equipment is required today. Now, if you guys want to load up those split squats, holding a couple books, dumbbells, laundry detergent, etc., that can be a good way to do it, but those will get pretty tiring on our legs here. So do that at your own risk. All right, so for our warm-up, guys, let's go ahead and get that lower body warmed up. Let's screw those feet into the ground. What we're going to do is keep those arches up and just do a few air squats. Now, as we come down, we want to push the knees out and away from each other. We want to unlock those knees, hips, and ankles kind of at the same time, pushing the knees away from each other and then driving through the entire foot, squeezing the glutes and the quads to come back up. So let's do a couple more of those. Feel free to take it at your own pace. Maybe sit down there and kind of explore what the hips are feeling. If that's uncomfortable, don't do that. Just stay comfortable and just rep it out. Let's do a couple more, just regular speed. Good job, you guys. Okay. Legs are feeling a little bit more warm. All those muscles have kind of been squeezed a couple times. Let's go ahead and come down to the ground. We're going to be in hands and knees in order to just warm up this upper body, this core, and the legs all at the same time. This is one of my favorite kind of full body things. It's the primal press. So hands are beneath the shoulders. We're going to drive those toes down into the ground, simultaneously driving through the palms and picking those knees up about an inch or 2 up off the ground, trying to keep that back nice and flat, keeping the head in line with the rest of the spine as well. You guys will notice my head is not sinking down towards the ground. Core is tight. I know this may be getting uncomfortable. Let's just breathe. All right, after that next exhale, we can slowly bring those knees down. Good job, you guys. Okay, everything, shoulders, core, legs, everything's been touched on. If you guys want to stand up and get a couple slow marching reps in, feel free to do so. What I'm going to do, take a quick sip of water, set up our timer, and then we're going to get into it. All right, you guys. So again, about 15 minutes of work here, mainly focusing on a lot of tempo and activation. It may not seem as metabolically challenging as some of our workouts in the middle of the week, but I want you guys to focus on simply activating those muscles, squeezing them really hard and making sure that we're really solid in some of these positions that we're pausing and then moving back and forth in between. All right, everybody, we are ready to go. Timer set. We're starting with that plank to pike. Remember, 3 seconds in plank and pike. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're on the clock. All right. So finding the starting position is always important. We got the hands under the shoulders. The core is tight. Got a nice straight line essentially from my head down to my heels. We push ourselves up in a pike, you guys, pushing that head through the gap. Spending a few seconds here, and then slowly coming back to that plank position. Now, plank position, again, 3 seconds. Give it your own kind of count in your head. You do not have to stay on pace with me. I'm probably going to end up kind of getting off pace just because I'm talking, but focus on that core and moving those shoulders kind of about the rib cage. Because as we go up into that pike position, it's going to, here, I'm going to pause. That's time. Let's rest. As we go up into that pike position, shoulder blades are moving through the back of that rib cage. We want to make that as smooth and as strong as possible. All right, so split squat up next. It's our right leg in front. Let's find that good starting position. Lots of weight in that front leg. Back leg is just there for support. So let's come all the way down. We're pausing. 1, 2, 3. Pushing through that front foot and that front leg to come all the way back up. And then we shall repeat. Good job, everybody. Good job. I know the focus is on that front leg, but we want to have the core nice and tight. Keeping that core tight is going to keep a nice line from my head all the way down to my back knee. That's what I want to keep also nice and constant. Keep those hips with the headlights pointed forward. And again, all that focus is really on that front leg, that front hip, and push through the whole foot as we come away from that ground. Good job, you guys. We got time for one more rep. Let's hang out down here. Pausing, lots of squeezing here, and let's push it all the way up. Good job. Time to rest. All right, give that right leg a little bit of a shake. We're going with the left leg in front up next. Take a moment if you haven't already to find, a starting position, or at least put that knee on the ground, and then we can come up. All right, now we are ready to start. Let's come all the way down. 1, 2, 3. Push through that front leg. Good job, you guys. Might have to make a couple adjustments to that stance. That is okay. First round here, we're just kind of figuring it out, feeling it out. Good job, everybody. Good job. All that weight here in that front leg. Lots of squeezing. Might already be burning. And that's what we're looking for, you guys. Taking it nice and slow and spending time in these positions instead of just being in it for 1 second and then coming out of it. We got time for one more rep. Here we go. Pause. Love it. Back up. Time to rest. Good job, everybody. Good job. Okay, up next is our dead bug. So you got a few more seconds to rest. Let's find the ground. A nice deep inhale and then a strong exhale is going to help us find those core muscles, connect our back to the ground, and keep it there. All right, let's get it moving. Opposite arm, opposite leg. If you have the ability to extend arm and leg all the way out while keeping that core tight and glued to the ground, do so and challenge yourself just a little bit. Again, we don't want to be moving super fast necessarily. I'm just going in and out of that kind of tension position. We want to lengthen those arms and legs out as much as we can while keeping the quality there through that core. Good job, everybody. Good job. Got time for at least one more rep here. Good. Keep that core tight and time. Nicely done. Okay, we're on our backs. We got to get back up to our feet. It's the slow march coming up next. Like I said before, if you guys have the opportunity to get those feet in contact with the ground directly, I recommend it. Let's go ahead and get into it. Treating our hips like a bowl of water. We got to keep the core really tight. Now my left leg, I'm planting on that left leg, my left glute squeezing really hard. Once you can get that leg off, kind of all the way locked out and the foot, the base of this movement nice and solid, it's going to feel like you're standing on top of a solid pole or something like that. It doesn't even feel like the leg. Way to work here, you guys. Just slowly going back and forth. Hands on the hips, hands swinging. Maybe the hands are touching a wall or a piece of furniture. Just working on that hip activation. All that movement is really just coming from the hip here. Good. And time. All right, well done, everybody. Well done. Okay, that is round one. We got 2 more just like it to go. Let's find the ground again. We got the plank to pike up next. All right, we're getting started with round 2 here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, find that good plank position first, you guys. We're locking in those shoulders away from the ears. A few seconds. And then let's get back up into that pike position, pushing our head through. We don't want to be excessively shrugging. I want to be able to feel kind of how my shoulder blades move as we push up or overhead into that pike position. The shoulder blades kind of rotate upwards. We want to be able to make sure all those muscles around there are used to doing that at all sorts of paces for all sorts of durations. Good job, everybody. Good job. Way to keep that activation going. Solid squeezes both sides here every time. And time. There we go. All right. Well done, everybody. Well done. It's our right leg for the split squat coming up next here. Find that stance. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All that weight is in that front leg. Core is tight. Don't have to be all the way upright here with that torso. Remember, nice and in line with that back leg. Head to my back knee here, nice and straight. We're holding that for 3 seconds at the bottom. Try and be active through that foot. Big squeezes through this upper leg. Want to act like we want to freeze our knee in place just for a moment. Squeeze everything around it super hard, and then push away from the ground, come back up. Got a lot, at least one more rep in us. Here we go. Nice pause, core is tight, and then push away from the ground, time to rest. Good job, you guys, good job. Okay, left side coming up next. I know this is my not as strong side for many reasons. So if you're working with, all right, here guys, time to go. If you guys are working with that left side, it may not be the strongest of sides. Focus a little bit more on the squeeze. If it's feeling okay, maybe it's 4 seconds you guys are spending down there. Either way, all our focus, all our brain power is kind of on making that position at the bottom very solid. We want it to look the same almost every time. We want to feel a big time squeeze and a big time push as we come away from the ground here. Got time for at least a couple more. Good work, you guys, good work. Push away from that ground. At least one more, here we go. Pause, big squeezes, push away, and it's time to rest. Well done, everybody, well done. Good job, you guys. About 5 seconds, we're finding the ground for the dead bug once again. We're on our backs, going in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Strong exhales will help us keep that core on the ground. Especially when we're in that outstretched position and coming back, that's when our back is going to want to leave the ground and move around a little bit. Strong exhales combined with that contraction that we already got going on, that's what's going to keep our back in place. Excellent work, everybody. Good job, good job. Again, we're taking it slow. We want the time under tension to be a little bit longer than what we're used to. Got time for at least one more side here. And time to rest. Well done, you guys. Okay. End of round 2 here coming up. It's that slow march. Trying to stay nice and solid, one leg at a time. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And same for the slow march. You know, we're switching in a slow fashion. We also want to spend a second or two just at that top. Knee is up at hip level. And then that opposite glute is squeezed super hard, basically just locking our pelvis or that bowl of water in place. Excellent work here, you guys. Excellent work. Use those toes, be active through those feet. Barefoot or not, we still got to be active through those feet. Good job, you guys. Stay up nice and tall too. I know it's easy to kind of get crunched a little bit through that core. Got to pretend like we got a string top of our head pulling us up towards the ceiling as we do this. Be as tall as you can. Last rep, and that's time. Great work, you guys. Great work. Okay. Let's take a deep breath. We got one more round to do. We're going to cool down and then really calm it down with our breathing after that. Here we go. Let's start with that plank to pike. Find your starting position first. Find what works. One more big squeeze with those shoulders overhead. Coming back into that position. Nice and easy. 3 seconds for each. As we come down to that plank, you guys, the shoulders are away from the ears, like we're tucking them into our back pockets, letting them slide, kind of like how we would slide our cell phones into the back pockets if we had some jeans on. We got less than 10 seconds, so that means a couple more reps. Good, lock it in, and that's time. Good job, you guys, good job. Okay, split squat, last time we gotta do it. It's coming up next. Right leg in front, just like rounds 1 and 2. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Going down, finding that good position, guys. It may take a rep or two every round, and that's okay. I know for me, I definitely have to look at myself just to make sure I can lock in some of the same stuff that I've been doing. Remember, don't get lazy with that core. I know it's really easy for us to just focus on the legs, leave everything in the upper body relaxed. We gotta stay supported throughout the entire body. I mean, even our upper bodies are a load that our legs have to support. Let's protect the spine while we do it. Good job, everybody. Great work. Remember, it's 3 seconds down there. Lock it in. I know it can burn. We got 1 more rep left. Let's do this right leg well. And time. Good job, good job. Okay, left leg coming up. Maybe it's the non-dominant one. Maybe it's the dominant leg. Either way, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Go down. Find that position. Remember, all that weight is in that front leg. I know that we just used that right leg. Sometimes it's easy to put a little bit more weight into that right leg than we really mean to. Do the best you can. Core as tight as we go down. We're locking in 3 seconds down there. I know it's your own count, but give yourself a nice slow 3 seconds. Good. We really want to feel everything around the knee tighten up. This is how we kind of build that resilience, that bulletproofness that you oftentimes hear fitness professionals talking about. Funny analogy if you ask me. Last rep here, guys, hold it and push up. That's time. All right, good job, everybody. Dead bugs up next. It's our slow march to finish after that. And then we're gonna cool it down, do some guided breathing. All right, 3, 2, 1, here comes that dead bug. Core is really tight this time. Again, those strong exhales are gonna help us pull those arms and legs back in and keep it nice and solid. Even though we have in that starting position, not a lot of tension on the core doesn't mean we can relax. I'm gonna keep that tension there the entire time. Full 45 seconds under that tension. That's what's really gonna help us build the strength that lasts. Good job, everybody, good job. Way to be diligent here. I know it's tough. Easy to take the easy way out. Got 1 more rep here. And that's time. Well done, everybody. Well done. Way to stick with that. Whoa. All right, slow march coming up. This is our last thing of the Functional Fitness Friday workout. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Remember, we're locking 1 glute in at a time. Every time. Good job, everybody. I know we might be a little wobbly through that foot and that ankle. Do the best you can. And just think about keeping that arch up. I oftentimes like to imagine that there's a very small thumbtack right under the arch of my foot. I'm gonna do everything I can to not have my arch collapse into that thumbtack. That would mean some discomfort for sure. We got a few seconds left. Let's get 1 or 2 more reps in. Locking in that glute. Final rep here, hold it. Big squeeze, we're tall, and that's time. Great work, everybody, great work. All right, not the most intense workout probably that we've ever done, but I can guarantee you it definitely opened up some new pathways from our nervous system to our muscles, strength that we're gonna be able to use in the future. All right, so it is time for us to cool down. get into a little bit of breathing, and then go on with the rest of our Fridays. So let's go ahead, take a moment. If you need to walk around, grab that water, do so. We're gonna lie down on our backs, stretch out the back of our hips a little bit, and then we'll go right into our breathing. So figure four stretch, you guys are probably familiar. Let's take that right ankle, rest it on top of that left knee. Now you might need to push or pull on that knee a little bit in order to get that medium intensity hip stretch. If that's not there for you, let's elevate that left leg. We can reach through, grab onto the back or front of that left knee in order to exaggerate our right rear hip stretch here. And now we can just work on the breathing. Slowly lengthening those exhales. Good work, everybody, good work. Let's do one more breath. All right, let's let that left leg down. If you had it up, we're gonna switch it over to the other side. Find that position that's gonna give you a medium intensity stretch. We don't want anything feeling like it's gonna tear or pop, or just like that really burning, searing sensation that we get with extreme kind of muscle stretching sometimes. We wanna kind of avoid that, have it be medium intensity. It's a Friday, just take it easy on yourself. Good, let's do one more big breath, long exhale. Well done. All right, you can drop that leg to the ground if it was elevated. Now I'm gonna advise you guys to stay in this lying down position if it's comfortable for you. If you wanna sit up, be my guest. Let's put one hand on the stomach here, and what we're gonna work on is just some box breathing. So the box breathing concept essentially is taking one number, and it's gonna be a count of, let's say 3, because that's what we're gonna start with here. I'm gonna inhale for 3, hold for a count of 3, exhale for a count of 3, and then hold for a count of 3 again before inhaling. So take a moment, let's get started. Feel free to breathe through the nose, the mouth, a combination of the two. That is all good here today. Now this 3-second count, it's gonna work pretty well for us in the beginning because our heart rates may be still a little bit elevated, but as we progress, feel free to bump yourself up to 4 and maybe even 5 all the way around that figurative box breathing. In order to kind of calm yourself down, we're gonna slow that heart rate down here. Good job, everybody. If you're lying down, we want to feel that stomach rise with our inhale. Stay at that height as we hold that breath and then deflate, fall back towards the earth on that exhale. If you're sitting upright, you should be able to feel a sense of this as well. The stomach protruding out as we inhale. We're really filling the torso with air. And then deflating and almost contracting as we exhale and push out that air. Good job, everybody. Let's keep going. Bump yourself up to 4 seconds if you feel comfortable. Well done, everybody. If you want to continue to stay in this position, continue that breathing in order to calm your body down. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna get up here just because this is all the time I have left for this class today. But if you guys want to stay in that position, continue to breathe and progress through that box strategy, I highly recommend it. The box breathing and just with breathing in general after a workout like this, one of my favorite things to do, puts me to sleep almost every time, but that's the way I can tell that it's really bringing my nervous system back down to that kind of baseline, rest and digest mode that we like to stay in versus our fight or flight, which is when we're working out, when we're stressing the body. So highly recommend the breathing after every workout, even if it's just a couple minutes, and at any other time of the day if you're feeling stressed or if you just want to take a moment and kind of recenter yourself. That's one of my main strategies that has really helped me out over the past year and a half as we have seen a lot of change in this world. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Daryl, super happy to have you back. Dan, awesome to see you once again. I hope you both have a great weekend and I will catch you guys in that next session. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Louise. Have a great weekend. Bye.
See you guys.
Thanks, Luis. Have a good weekend.
See you guys. Have a good one.